Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Now today we're going to talk about issue number 3 of the Heir of Apocalypse, written by Steve Fox. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. Now this issue opens on the planet of Arakko, as a fierce confrontation unfolds as Archangel, Worthington III, charges at Apocalypse and was dead set on taking him out. Because according to Angel, Apocalypse's game ends now. So with his wings slicing through the air, he launches a devastating attack. But Apocalypse was just one step ahead of him as he braced himself against the onslaught. Now despite how relentless Archangel's assault was, Apocalypse just stood there unfazed, which prompted Archangel to say what he does up here is up to Arakko, but he won't allow him to manipulate anyone else he cares about down on Earth. Now Apocalypse gazes at Archangel with a glint of respect in his eyes and responds by saying he has some respect for his passion, but no one allows Apocalypse to do anything. So with that said, Apocalypse retaliated with a forceful blow that sent Archangel crashing into the ground with a resounding slam. Now that impact is devastating, but Archangel's resolve remains unbroken as he attempts to return to his feet, so with his voice full of defiance, he declares that he is no longer afraid of him anymore, and he survived his twins and he survived the Death Seed. Because being a survivor is what he made him. So with that out there, Apocalypse responded once again, but this time he said he would see to it that all of their brethren would become survivors as well. Now with that said, we then jump over to Egypt, where tensions rise as Cable, Wolverine, and Forge confront Mr. Sinister. For the team had finally caught on to how Sinister was playing dirty, and if they had anything to say about it, that would end now. So as Cable aimed his gun at Sinister, both Cable and Forge were moments away from atomizing him, until Wolverine noticed something that caused her to withdraw her claws, because according to her, the people of this town have been through enough already. So with everyone standing down, Sinister, ever the manipulator, responds with a single smirk. But see, just because they didn't eliminate him right then and there, didn't mean they wasn't going to keep their eyes on him. But with sarcasm in his voice, he told Cable, "Correction in your case, I think you mean I, singular." So as the tension started to de-escalate, the team asked Emma Frost if she thinks she could calm the crowd. To which Emma responded by saying she isn't sure, but Sinister is only here to betray them when he gets the chance, and because of that, she wished that they all had diamond skin. Because up to this point in the story, several of their friends and allies were picked off one at a time. Sinister, ever the cunning strategist, recounts his plans. "Well, that's terribly rude," he retorts. "Betrayal may be a favorite pastime of mine, but I have perfectly valid reasons to enroll in Apocalypse's little round robin." So with that said, we jump back to the past to Sinister pulling up on Apocalypse, and as soon as he gets there, Apocalypse grips his hand tight around Sinister's neck and declares that his mutant gene is not his own, and that he is a pretender to his species. Sinister, gasping for breath, responds with defiance and said after all the trouble he went through to become a mutant, who has more reason to want to see us succeed. So with that out there, we jump back to current day and see Cypher address the frightened crowd in a calm and reassuring voice, and said, "Please, I know you're all frightened, but the danger has passed, but we'll need you to avoid these structures until engineers can test their integrity." So with that taken care of, Sinister went on to say the translator is at least good for something beyond gossiping to land masses. So as Cypher continued to reassure the crowd, we then jump over to Cable and the others discussing their next moves. Because they wasn't sure if the game was over, or if they had to hoof it back to Apocalypse's proving grounds. So as the team started to get tired of all of this, Gorgon spoke up out of nowhere, and said Genocide's rampage was more targeted than it seemed. So as the team got closer, Wolverine caught a hint of stale air. Now with the passageway uncovered, Gorgon went on to say, Apocalypse's warren weaves under the city itself, for this was all planned, which means they never left his test. So, with that said, we jump back to Arakko as the battle intensifies and Archangel continues his relentless assault on Apocalypse. "You never learn, Apocalypse. Mutant kind doesn't want your kind of help," declared Angel as Apocalypse stood unfazed and delivered a powerful strike that once again sent Archangel crashing into a wall. Now with Archangel badly hurt, Apocalypse went on to say, "Charles was a man of vision, but his vision failed our homeland," reflected Apocalypse. So because of that, it fell to him to ensure that Krakoa was not lost as Arakko once was. Which means he had to win the war of ideals, despite the overwhelming odds, but the mutants Charles once tutored clung stubbornly to the past. So with that said, we transition back to the temple under Egypt, and when we get there, we see our heroes navigate the treacherous passageways. And Cable tells Sinister, if he even twitches suspiciously, Wolverine will make sure his cape isn't the only thing sliced to ribbons. Now with that warning given, Cypher started to study the ancient etchings on the walls, and immediately told Cable to hold up because these etchings aren't random. But before he can decipher them, a trap is triggered, and the team braces for impact, as spikes almost impale Cable. So with the path ahead laced with bobby traps, Gorgon volunteered to take the lead and clear the way. So just as Gorgon took off, Sinister quickly did what he does best and tossed a green object at Gorgon and said, "This seems as good as a time as any for a dramatic betrayal." So with the deed done, Wolverine shouted that she warned them and drove her claws into Sinister's back. Now the strike was delivered swiftly and decisively. But unfortunately, the damage had already been done, as Gorgon started to feel the effects of Sinister's attack. And before anyone could react, a battle kicked off as Gorgon, now under Sinister's control, lets out a fierce battle cry while swinging his weapon with deadly precision. Doug Ramsey attempts to dodge it as Cable yells for everyone to back up. Now Cable's interference came just in time to allow Cypher to avoid Gorgon's full strike. Now this is not to say that Gorgon's blow didn't cause any damage. But lucky for Cypher, Forge was there to catch him before he fell off the bridge. So with that going down, Wolverine immediately recognizes the control disc that causes Gorgon's berserker rage. So with agility and determination, she engages Gorgon and uses her claws to clash against his weapon. Now Cable provides backup and uses his weapon to attempt to put Gorgon down. So with things hitting a fever pitch, Danielle Moonstar steps in and draws her arrow and let it fly in hopes of subduing the Gorgon without further bloodshed. Her shot is precise and hits Gorgon, effectively stopping his rampage. So with Sinister standing alone, Emma Frost, exasperated by the ongoing manipulations, and confronts Sinister and declares his role in the chaos to be over. So as the dust settles, Emma Frost and the others assess the damage. Emma, reflecting on her past and the challenges she has faced, resolves to take decisive action. In a flashback, she recalls the immense pressure and responsibility she carries. Her internal monologue reveals her deep care for her fellow mutants and the weight of her leadership. She confronts Sinister, making it clear that his games are finished. Now in a last-ditch effort to escape, Sinister throws a bomb. The explosion was massive and sent debris flying everywhere, which forced the team to take cover. Now despite the explosion, Emma and the others remain focused and determined to see their mission through. But unfortunately, when the smoke cleared, the explosion destroyed the part of the bridge under Emma and caused her to fall to her death, but not before she accomplished one additional deed. For Emma tapped into Sinister's mind and pushed him to follow close behind, and take his own life and jump over the edge too. So with that tragic event playing out, we jump back over to Archangel and Apocalypse continuing their intense battle. Now during their interaction, Archangel accuses Apocalypse of being incapable of humility, to which Apocalypse admits to being shrewd and willing to put the needs of his species above all else. He then goes on to reveal his disregard for human lives. So, with that out there, Apocalypse went over to a terminal and clicked a few switches to reveal a chamber filled with captured mutants in stasis. Now each one was teleported there at the moment of their failure. So, with everyone proven to be alive, Apocalypse then went on to say, if Archangel wishes to stay and safeguard his fellow mutants, then he can. But one thing he would not tolerate is him trying to stop him, because Apocalypse is dead set to ensuring mutant kind has a future. So with Apocalypse determined to find his heir, on the last page, we see the giant statues of the Four Horsemen come alive and prepare to issue the final exam, as the team brace themselves for combat. And with that said, this issue of Heir of Apocalypse comes to an end. So with that out there, if you want to stay in the loop about any individual storyline, then how about you hop over to the playlist section down below or in the link cards above to get all caught up on the X-Men runs. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.